Alrighty, this is super duper high speed trial video take number 1 with the lovely chihuahuas barking in the background, as I'm sure you can hear. I'm going to just see how fast I can crank this up. This probably won't be posted anywhere, but if it does go well, who knows. I'll probably post a little bit more polished one than this. Anyways, I'm going to see how it goes. First layer is going to be slow just for adhesion. After that, I'll crank it up. So enjoy. Alright, no, that's cool. Let's go ahead and bump the speed up just a little bit. We're now at approximately 200% normal speed for the infill and for perimeters. Seems to be holding stable still. I'm going to bump it the rest of the way. At 250% normal speed. Trigger seems to be keeping up still. Oh, take all the way up. We're at 300% normal speed, which is about as fast as I can make it. That should be theoretically about 600 millimeters per second, give or take a little bit. If I want to make it faster than that, I have to go into firmware. This is a 40 millimeter by 40 millimeter cube. So one of the diagonals, when it gets to the corner there, if someone wants to calculate how fast it is just based on the video timestamp, it's 40 millimeter diagonal, right triangle basically. Excuse me. I did bump the bed adhesion up, so it's at 105 instead of normal 95 that I run it at, just to make sure this thing doesn't fly off here. We're also printing at 50% infill, mainly just to speed the print up. And I'm going to turn about 85% for structural stuff. Just seem to be, a little bit rough in the back there. I don't know if that's just due to some of the stuff I've done commercial here. May try bumping the info feed rate and flow rate up here in a minute. It seems to be holding pretty stable though. I'm actually using the Pettier Host 0.95F with the standard stock TAS 5 firmware, modified slightly to make the blinky lights in the front and everything work. Started out like the TAS 3 and get modified up to that. And so right now I've got that feed rate at 300%, flow rate still at 100%. It should be very close to about 200 or 600 milliliters per second at a possible maximum. Of course, I'm not giving them the moves and printers just because it's not getting enough time to accelerate up to that. But it's somewhere up there. That seems to be holding so far in terms of the mechanicals. Printing temperature of the extruding at 240 degrees Celsius, which does seem to be dropping a little bit just because the rate's going through, so it's probably going a little bit. Bed temperature is holding stable at 100 degrees Celsius. Part doesn't seem to be lifting, so we should be good there. For the next speed trial I do, I would not keep the spool on the frame. That's actually part of what I think my bobble back here is just the wobbling from that spool. I definitely think that back bobble I'm getting on the top there a little bit is just the extruder. I'm not sure it can keep up with this the way it is right now. I'm working on a Bondtech core variant of the standard grade weight extruder body there. It's just not quite ready yet. That should give me about double the extrusion force on the filament though, so I think that'll actually allow me to hit full speed, or even go into firmware and modify it higher, and still be able to keep up with that. We just entered layer 29 of 133. Layer thickness on here is, I believe, 0.4, 0.35, somewhere in there. Actually, 0.35. Actually, no, it's 0.3, excuse me. Yeah, so initial layer height was 0.4, subsequent layer height is 0.3, perimeters, it's doing 4 perimeters, and it's not actually printing all those, it's doing 2 of them. I think that's perimeter. Extra perimeter needed is checked, avoid crossing perimeters is not checked, start perimeters at concave points and non-overhang points, detect thin walls, all those are on, detect bridging perimeters is off. I do not have it randomizing the starting point, and I do not have it doing external perimeters first. I'm going to want the start point inside the external perimeter. Fulfillment diameter, what I've got right now is set at 2.97 millimeters. The temperatures are all just running by whatever the Pettier says. Perimeter settings, standard for TAS. It's got a 298 by 275 millimeter diameter area. Center point is in the center. The offset is the offset. FPD codes all pretty much the same. Extruder variables, got a 0.5 millimeter nozzle on it. Retraction set to 2 millimeters. Speed 25 millimeters per second for retraction. Minimum travel after refraction is 2 millimeters. Refractor layer change is enabled. Let's see, refracting tool is disabled, 10 millimeters. I don't know if I'm going to get anything. Auto cooling is enabled, but none of these layers are small enough to turn that on. So that would slow it down quite a bit if it actually hit there. That's why I chose the calibration cube for this particular print. Extruder is a standard hexagon extruder. It's got my extruder carriage on it, side 40 millimeter fan for the barrel, and then a cooling nozzle fan, stock Rosebot fan for the other side. So a lot of that mass you see on there is just empty fan duct. The carriage itself is actually really reinforced, and I've got Disco John's taller extruder carriage with the upper bolt mount. That really solidifies and stabilizes the whole thing. So I pretty much have no forward or back rock, and then between that and the open rail stuff, and then the anti-wobble. Like you can see on that cube, even at this speed, I've got no Z shifting at all, and that's mainly due to the anti-wobble and the open bend stuff, which is nice. The extruder mechanics itself, standard stock CAS extruder. I've got these short motors off of the first generation dual extruder on there. They actually seem to have just as much torque as the bigger ones with a lot less weight for what we're doing with this here. So I definitely highly recommend swapping those out if you have those available. I've got it ready to use a dual extruder, but I don't have the second gen dual extruder built. And the first gen was a bit on the floppy side, so it wasn't really working that well. For PLA, if I recommend going with the stock TAS 6 prototype extruder body, it's got the dual side fans. Since I'm putting ABS here, side fan doesn't really matter. It's a bridging man for small layers, so I tend to not worry about it too much. And the next upgrades I'm working on for this particular printer is going to be adding a filament feed rate sensor and an a filament width sensor to it, so it should be able to calculate the actual width of the sensor, the filament on the fly, and alert me when there's any stoppages or anything like that. So that should help keep the print a little bit more consistent on there as well. We just entered layer 51, officially outgoing 52 right now, out of 133, so we're just under halfway. That periodic clicking you hear is actually the spool over there on the spool mount lifting up and wobbling and hitting. Either a floor-mounted spool or a better spool mount is probably something you need to work on. I may have to make a separate slicer profile so I can bump these speeds up any further. So I think it would go faster if we could make it go faster. So the length of that diagonal section from corner to corner is going to be 56.568, and it's traveling that whole distance really, really quick. So quarter of a second. So then it's only actually getting up to like 226, but it's set past from that. Maybe my math's off. Stopwatch either. So maybe it's not on. It's actually closer to about 15 seconds. Let's see, let's stopwatch. So take that. Let's do math on the side here. Yeah, so it's actually closer to about 400 millimeters per second effective. I think it's just not getting its full acceleration because the model's not big enough. And that could be plus or minus, call it, 50 millimeters a second, just based on the quick math. You get the speed of the, the click of the button on the stopwatch. I would not say this is ultimate precision here. So far the adhesion seems to be holding pretty good. This is on my aluminum bed here. Definitely recommend that for anybody even thinking about upgrading the printer. It's one of the first things to do. It just increases the amount things stick by an insane amount. past layer 76 of 133. I do have a 5mm brim layer on there. When I go to measure this, I'll trim that off. And my motors are being really, really warm right about now. It's kind of like watching paint dry, isn't it? It's not like I can be more interesting model. Sorry about that. Figured this would be a good one that someone could probably find someone putting a stock one on a stock Hasbro. Everything seems to be holding together still, though. That's a good sign. Definitely find a more stable camera platform than this box that's sitting on for the next one. If you're still watching this video at this point, you obviously have more patience at watching videos of things 3 coming than I do, and I congratulate you, because you're at about the 92 layer. Probably get a medal or something. Not too fast forward, lift you in. I need a stable desk here. Let's print this speed anyways. I've got the build tack sheet on here right now, so the pie, mainly because I had some lifting in the pie, I haven't fixed yet. This build tack looks cool. Actually, it's slightly better adhesion for ABS, I've noticed. I do like the shiny surface of pie leaves on the bottom. Build tack, you have this white milky surface. It's annoying. Last time I could hear that. We passed layer 101. And that is just tools falling off my desk. That happened in the 3D printing world. And the winner for most boring 3D printing video of all time goes to... I'll figure some enjoyment out of it. About 20 more layers to go. For some of you can guess what this is probably going to be by the shape right now. It's actually a statue of an ocelot. A cubist ocelot. A 40mm by 40mm by 40mm cubist ocelot. Okay, you got me its calibration too. Of course, I told you that at the beginning of the video, so it's probably wasn't that hard to fix. But I could have been wrong. I wasn't though. Any of you that are still watching this at home, you'll note that the bottom layer and the brim there has not moved and lifted even slightly. You don't need an enclosure to print ABS. Definitely helps, but if you've got room for one or you don't want to build one, you don't need it. Just get the right bed on there. You don't need the metal corners for the bed though. They just make it look cooler. I do want to see someone try to run a stock tabs this fast, though. That'd be kind of funny. Yeah, it might work actually. A little deflection, but mechanically can still go, I guess. Cube would probably end up a little wobbly. Almost done. back to regular 3D printing after this and be like, why is it so slow? Why? It's all your fault, isn't it? Let's see, especially from the calibers. This is the worst benchy print of all time. You're the one about the 3D printer that walked into a bar? It said out. And they made a 3D printer out of it. Thank you, I'll be here all night. I should record the sound this makes and then turn it into like a hit musical signal somewhere. Or single. Signal would be probably better though. The sound, copyright Tim Pierce. Only 8 more layers left. Alright, so here's what we're going to do next after this finishes printing here. I'm going to remove it from the bed and show you guys one of the biggest kept secrets of 3D printing despite my trying to tell everybody about it. And then we'll measure this thing and see what size we actually got. And then go from there. It's probably going to slow down for the final layers a little bit. I'm not going to drop down speed, but it's just the final finishing layer I think set below infill speed. Plus it's going to do 100% infill almost too, so okay. Yeah, it didn't turn out quite as good as it could. That should be okay. I think we just like smoother and keeping up with it at this point. One more layer after this. It's going great up until then. So now we know, slow it down for the last layer. Otherwise, it's going to look like poop. Alrighty. So with an ABS print like this, conventional wisdom would be we've got to wait for the bed to cool before we can pull it off. Bed's right now 100 degrees. Come back in 5 minutes. But I don't ever do that. What I do is I use this tool, which is exactly what it looks like, a cheese slicer with the slicey bit taped over here. And the trick to removing any 3D part from a 3D printer is to not exert force upward when you're removing it. So what I like to do, I go in there and brace, get underneath the brittle layer, and then you're just basically taking it from all sides, and you're not removing it from the bed by lifting, you're removing it from the bed by separating. And so you end up with a print. Let's pull the brim layer off here really quick so we can play with it. I'll give you guys a good view of it. But that technique will work with any 3D print, any size. Sometimes with the longer ones you have to get in there a little bit more. But here's the cube that we just printed. You can see the scarring on top. That's what the bottom layer looks like. You notice that there's very little, if any, Z-wobble on here, despite going really fast. And so let's go ahead and see what we came up with. Normally I can bring a calibration cube out at pretty much like 40 milliliter. So let's zero that out. See that. And stick that thing on there. Oops. Yeah. So we're a little bit off on this one with the faster speeds. Normally I'm a little bit closer than that. Let's see, top to bottom. Find one of the non-goobered spots to measure. 0.3 there. 0.4. Yeah, so you run it that fast, you definitely lose a little bit of accuracy. There's a good look at the top layer there. It just, I think the extruder was just ripping up the top surfaces, was going and just couldn't keep up. The rest of the layers I'm really happy with, even at that speed. So, I mean, I could run this thing faster than that, I think, and I'd lose some accuracy, but I definitely would still have a useful 3D print out of it. So hopefully you enjoyed this. I guess I'll upload it anyway since it turned out okay, and keep watching for other crazy videos. Thanks.